to the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's everybody's favorite sad dads, Jim and Foo.
I'm like not in a good place mentally.
You know, I have so much shit, and like for the last 3 weeks, I've had
Lots of stuff to talk about that we
well,
didn't get
this
to.
was last week, but at the bottom here was self-advocacy, and we don't have to get to your place, but we can nibble on why I have it on there. And hey, fucking Sad Dads Club podcast. Oh man, I already dropped the F-bomb. So bye, Tony.
It's just
so here's where I'm coming at from that. So we could both agree that there is a mental health issue here in the States. Like whether it's a no talk about it or there's something just in my periphery like a hair, and it's anyway.
It's not from your head.
Yeah, it's. I know that's
still.
That's why.
That's the uncanny thing.
Yes, it instantly catches my no, something is very wrong here.
My lock is touching my face.
I haven't had something that long in my face. Well, hey. Oh. Ray, we talk about here like. Mental health is important. Like you're, oh yeah, we lost you already.
I'm out.
You're out. That's not a hair. That's an ankle. What?
It's not an ankle. That's a penis.
Oh God. The things we did at Cloud 9. No. Having a place or person or an activity for you to, you being an abstract, you as an individual, to get centered or to blow off steam or to find a happy place, I don't think either of us in the length of time we've been doing this show have ever shied away from. That's important. Like I impart that upon my kids. While I don't think that was necessarily something that was probably that concept was probably too woke for me as a kid to be something that was important, an important lesson for my parents, but it's not like it was so I wouldn't want to disparage certainly my dad. It was just not talked about because I think it was just you just don't talk about those things. But as I've gotten older and a deeper relationship with my dad, it's certainly something that we actively talk about. So it's something we grew into, and it's not something that I had to change his mind on. But I think our parents' generation, it was probably more like, you got problems, you just need to handle it, kind of a thing. Would you agree to that?
Yeah, there's some of that.
But us and down, it's more like, hey, you need to...
But you got to be taught this as a kid, typically. If you're not really taught that growing up as a child, typically, you're going to struggle with it.
You probably will. Yeah. Right, and I would agree.
Yeah, if you don't have an open sort of system for a child within your whatever, your family, or,
they may,
they're growing up
to internalizing.
Right.
Sure. And for whatever reason, at least in my house or with the relationship with my parents, while that wasn't talked about, it wasn't necessarily. See, I feel like I'm tap dancing around saying taboo, but it wasn't. Once I approached the conversation with my dad, he didn't want to talk about it, or my mom was long gone at that point. It wasn't that he didn't want to talk about it. It was just, we haven't talked about this before. And we're off and running. So once you rip the Band-Aid off, at least for my family, once you rip the Band-Aid off, it was like, it's fine. With my generation above me, with my dad specifically. With my kids, it's been open book. Like, you need to take care of your mental health and whatever you need to do. I think, domestic U.S., I still think there's a taboo about it. And you need to, however we start these, a lot of the things that we run into with homelessness, gun control, gun advocacy, a lot of those things, I think, spin off from a lack of mental health awareness. Would my
maybe
roundabouts. I think there's a double-edged sword to there, and I see it on occasion, and it's the hyper mental health advocacy, and it's almost like an abuse of I need to take a thing because my mental health is just when it's almost like any other thing where someone has like a carve out, like working from home. Oh, I'm working from home. I need to telecommute because it's and you abuse the system by going and doing your grocery shopping on a 3-hour lunch or something like that. It's like you're abusing the system. Like the intent here is that we're affording you an opportunity to save gas, save commute time, relieve stress by allowing you to work from home, and you're taking advantage of the system. I need a mental health break, and you're just using it to because some employers are hypersensitive to it and don't know how to deal with that kind of dialogue. They like, oh, shit, yeah, whatever you need. Yeah, absolutely. So I see this like, well, you've got some places that are, I see the abuse, and yet I also see the lack of conversation, so that people tend to internalize or self-destruct because they don't know that it's okay. Did you hear it? Brought to you in part by HydroFlask. # not a sponsor. Because they don't know that it's, 1, to seek professional help. 2, it's okay to talk about. 3, once you talk to somebody about it, finding those solutions that work for you to get in a better place in a mental health perspective. In that vein, here's where my scenario goes. In that vein, it was, I think, over the weekend, something got brought up about the sim, the California marathon in December. And Venus mentioned something like, well, don't you have to start running soon? And I had set that as a goal. One, I had a voucher for 2020 because it got canceled because of COVID, and I didn't use it in 2021, and I didn't use it last year, and I think the voucher expires this year. So I'm like, New Year's resolution. I was already at the gym. I'm like, you know what? This year, absolutely. Let's put this one in the books. A personal goal. I can achieve 1 faster than I did the last time, and 2, it's still like a bucket list thing to beat my 18, 19-year-old me. I'm like, this is a personal goal that puts me.
Wait, hold on.
Go.
You can do it.
You can do it. Right? It's a personal thing. It's a personal achievement that's important to me.
Sure.
So she mentioned it. Don't you have to start soon? And I said, no, I'm not. No.
Fuck off.
No, absolutely not. She's like, why not? And I said it wasn't as important to me anymore. And she's like, well, when did that change? And I said, when Shiny passed. So and how does she phrase it? She said, well, it's okay for that to be important to you. And I said, absolutely, 100%. I recognize that was a personal thing for me, and it was important to me as an individual. But after Shiny passed, all we have left is Jax. And Jax is my end of the road for dogs. And we are pretty close to 90% nightly on a walk with Jax. And that is net new since Shiny has, the last 2 weeks that we had with Shiny, and since then. I have carved out time to make that walk happen, and that time spent with him makes me happy, and it makes him happy.
Sure.
And since I can't manufacture time,
Since when?
I know. I am transferring the importance of. I'm not saying I won't run or train for a marathon ever again. But I'm not saying that because that's still important. But I am trading that mental health happiness with walks with Jax. And eventually that will end, and then I will reclaim that time, which is still, like, not everyone goes on the walks with me and Jax. And there's been a couple nights where I didn't go because I was just wrecked or tired for whatever reason. So it's not just a me thing, but my relationship with Jax is, from a mental health perspective, no less important to me than achieving that marathon goal. And Venus was like, well, it's okay, to take something for you. And I went, absolutely, I understand that. But this makes me happy. It gives me mental health, like peace of mind. Not all that different than the achievement in training that I'm sure the marathon would get me. But the bottom line is I can only do so many things. And this one checks multiple boxes because Jax is just as important to me as me being in a good place in the head. That being said, and then we come to you. Like the last week or so, it seems like it's been like
a few weeks thing.
Yeah, it's been a series of
gut punches.
Yeah. So, oh wow, that was the first time I've seen it hiccup. Interesting. It's like, Is that this fan? That's weird. Oh boy. Well, here we go.
I guess we'll find out.
I know, right? Here. Shit.
Yeah.
So, you having the self-actualization that, it's been hard. How are you recovering?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't just... sometimes you get the overwhelming sense that, like, the universe is against you, and that's how it's feeling a lot. Mm-hmm. And it's countless things over the last few weeks. Yeah. I mean, it's a number of things, and they're all, like, not monetarily inexpensive.
Yeah.
We had a MacBook Pro that got water put in it.
Yeah.
That we had literally just sent to my daughter. I can't replace that machine. Monetarily, I can't go spend $2,000 on a new computer and replace it.
Right.
So that's very stressful. Our AC being broken for a week while it was 105 degrees outside. That was really hard. My dishwasher just power fails at the end of the cycle when it hits the dry cycle. I haven't been able to figure that out. My car
is back.
It's in the shop right now because of the evap check engine light. was driving it on Sunday on Highway 49 and a fucking rock hit the windshield and put a baseball-sized gash in the window, and it's splitting all the way up to the top. That's not a cheap thing, you know. So there's a ton of these things,
like death by spoon.
Yeah, a ton of these few hundred. I cracked my phone screen.
Oh, that's new.
Yeah, yeah. I looked that up. Apple wants $279 to replace that screen. You know, it's just all of these things they're just like, hey, here's a and oh, by the way, this is happening too.
Yeah.
And that's just a small sample of countless things that I can think of off the top of my head that feel like I'm getting fucked over and over and over again. And I just can't keep up. And they're happening in a fairly small window of time.
Yeah.
If they're spread out over a year or a year and a half or something, that's one thing. But we're talking like 3-4 weeks of just fucking gut punch. And at some point, you just kind of think to yourself, did I do something? You know what I mean? Karmically, did I do something? I don't know. I don't know what is going on. I can't explain it. I don't know why. Am I being taught some cosmic lesson? I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And,
someone religious might say, well, the Lord works in mysterious.
Oh, yeah.
I don't buy any of that shit, right? It's just, it is kind of what it is, but also, I don't have an explanation for it.
Right.
It's just, that's the way the ball's bouncing for me for some reason.
That's the Murphy's business.
Yeah, so it's like, and then on top of it, there's like a part of it's like, you have all these things that you have to do. Like no one else knows how to do them. Half of them I don't even know how to do.
Right.
But the expectation is that I will do it, and there isn't any any offer of help to do the things.
Yeah.
And so that puts a lot of pressure on you. Like, I've got 2 drywall repairs that I haven't done because I'm scared as shit to do them and fuck them up and make it look terrible.
Yeah.
So there's a whole lot of this kind of stuff. It's just been a rough few weeks for sure.
It's July.
Yeah. On the good news is the air's running okay.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The house has been cool.
Your air runs.
It's quiet, actually. So, I mean, there's I feel like some small wins in there, but not enough to offset all the losses. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just mentally I'm struggling. I don't leave my house typically. You know what I'm saying? Like you understand, as a work from home guy, you've been like this for years.
Yeah.
I just feel like I don't really ever leave the house. So sometimes my wife's like, I'm going to go to Target. And I'm like, I'll fucking go to Target.
Yeah.
Just to get out of the house.
Get an excuse.
Just to go somewhere.
Yeah.
So it's mentally very weighing and trying.
And then when your kind of release is driving your car. And
I don't drive my car.
And your car is one of those issues. You're kind of like, well.
Yeah, you got in and started up and the check engine light's on and then you look up and the glass is smashed. And you're like, fuck, man.
You're just constantly reminded of I'm just trying to find a place for peace.
Yeah.
Like, how do you...
Yeah.
Like, everywhere I turn, it's an opportunity to remind me that I'm getting a bad dice roll.
The windshield thing is interesting because I've had, the Civic, I think we probably talked about this on the show. The Civic got hit with a rock on Highway 49 and it broke the window.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a big hit. I don't know if you remember that.
No.
Back when I was commuting with Don and we were getting on 49 right by the office.
Mm-hmm.
Literally on ramp, starting to move over, and a big rock gets kicked up from the truck in front of us and hits the windshield. And it was like soccer ball sized hit right at the top.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was big. The rock wasn't that big, but the
impact
of the glass smash is like a big soccer ball size thing.
Jesus. Yeah.
It was big. And then this one, I've driven Highway 49. I've worked up there 16 years, and 13 plus of those years I was commuting up there and back. So to have one smashed windshield out of 13 years of driving up there, that's not terrible.
Right.
But I'm not even driving. I wasn't even up there for work. It was like just a Sunday. You know what I'm saying? And we had gone up there because one of my coworkers, her mother had passed away. Sorry, Shannon. And she was having an estate sale.
Okay.
So we went up, and I was hoping to see her so I could talk to her. Got to talk to her and stuff. And then on the way back, fucking nasty ass rock.
By the way,
I never even saw it. I kind of like was driving, and I looked over at Shannon in the passenger seat, and then it hit, and I went, "What the hell?" And I turned around. It was a huge smash in the window. And then we stopped for lunch, and the car heated up. And then as the car heated up, the crack went like straight up to the top. Luckily, it's on the left, but it's in your line of sight.
Can't miss that one.
But that's just like one of like, it feels like a dozen or more things that are all going sideways right now, So it's been very trying, and I'm typically pretty happy-go-lucky dude. I don't know. I feel like I am. I don't know. Maybe I'm not. But fuck, like just cut a guy a fucking break, So
you need to like take up yoga or meditation so that way you have a release that doesn't tie to an object. Sometimes I just sit outside and just close my eyes and sit in the sun. Just kind of.
Yeah, but it's been way too hot to even go outside. That's the other part. And part of it is I really, like you, one of my goals for the day is always to take Max for a walk.
Oh, yeah.
And it's been so hot, I can't do that.
Yeah. No.
I would have to go super early in the morning. And my daughter's home from school right now, and he sleeps in her room, so I don't even know that I could get him out of, that early in the morning.
Go for a walk.
Yeah,
fuck you, dude.
Yeah, I'm sleeping, bitch.
You see this? No.
Yeah, so I'm missing that too, I think. And it's just been a rough few weeks. So I don't even know how to categorize it really, other than you just feel like the universe wants to fuck you, and you're just like, man, stop it. No means no, bro.
Yeah, I need a break. I was the windshield thing. I was talking with Venus's dad that had stopped by. Hashtag not Save Mart, but Save Mart adjacent. And I can't remember how we got on the topic, but we were talking about trucks and truck sizes.
Mm-hmm.
And I had we were just rattling off some stuff, and I just, diarrhea of the mouth thing. I went, the trucks that are driving on the roads now, by standards when I was in high school and middle school, were categorized as monster trucks. And I just kind of blah, 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 blah. And I saw him, oh my goodness, I saw him kind of just like tilt his head, and you could see like the cogs like were spinning, and then he did the, oh yeah. And I was just saying it just kind of blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But seeing his reaction and he in the span of a second and a half, he did the math and went, oh fuck. Yeah, that's right. And then I went, oh fuck. Yeah, I am right. And which is in itself is funny because he drives like a brand new Chevy Silverado, and the thing is all kinds of
ginormous,
massive. But if you spend any amount of time like I have of late in looking for a small mid-sized truck, and you put yourself in the ballpark of the 80s to 90s, mid 90s, the sizes of trucks compared to what they are now, along with because when we were in high school at the time, a lot of the trend was to slam the trucks.
Yeah, the Toyota mini trucks
Yeah,
or whatever.
Yeah, so your big
or the Nissan hard bodies or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the D21s, the hard bodies, the 720s, no, they weren't Tacomas yet.
No.
They were just
What was their name?
they were just Toyota pickups.
Just Toyota
Pickups.
Okay.
The T100 was in there, but
that's even after those though. The T100.
yeah, that's late 90s. The size of the trucks
Oh yeah.
are way different than they are now, and the propensity to put 3, 6, 9-inch lifts and monster truck tires with the hugest of lugs that will fit golf ball sized, road base. And then you get yourself up in the country and you're talking target rich environment at this point because shit, that's just how it rolls. I'm like, what? Man.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost, I don't know if they've advanced any windshield technology, probably for headlights, because now they're not made of glass, so at least it's not a thing. But
well, I mean, funny enough, I've had this discussion with my insurance is through State Farm, and I'm like, don't you guys have? I've asked them several times. Don't you guys have like a policy add-on for windshield replacement?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, just your regular deductible. So it's like, for windshield replacement, if it's over $250, which is what my deductible is, then I will shell out $250.
Right. How much is the window?
I don't know. I haven't started pricing it because the car's been in the shop.
Oh yeah, because
So,
you're like, by the way,
I will get to it. But
John's, I'm gonna have a window guy stop by and do this.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't know what the cost is on that thing. No clue. It's probably not going to be cheap.
Yeah,
though.
and it's not like the ding that Piper had. Yeah, I mean, I've seen it. That's not a self-fixer.
Oh, no.
Especially if the crack went.
Well, it's a circle, right? At the bottom, right at the bottom of the window. And you got little circles. And then there was one little tendril at the top that sort of hung out by itself.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm driving, was fucking mad. I'm like looking at it. I'm like, oh, it's going to split right there. I don't know which way it's going to go. It might go across, it might go down. I don't know. Who knows? But that's where it's going to fucking split. And so we stopped for lunch and the car heated up and we came back out and it had gone from the little circle at the bottom of the window and it was already almost 3/4 of the way up the window from because the like hit was
wiper.
Yeah,
just above your wipers.
Yeah, right at the bottom of the window where the black painted section of the window meets the clear part. That's where it kind of hit. And so from there, it kind of split and went to the left and then up. And it was like 3/4 way up the window by the time we came out of lunch. And that's just from the car sitting there getting warm, And it's,
where'd you go to lunch?
Taco Tree. Of course.
Fuck. Okay. Did you see where did I put that? I put that in Discord, the smash taco. Have you done a smash taco?
I have not done a smash taco.
Okay.
Did you make them?
I did.
Okay. Was it the taco burger or just the regular taco? Because I've seen the smash taco burger.
So I used it. Like it's a carne asada, like Lawry's carne asada pre-spice with a little bit of tahini. A slightly bigger ball than you would make for a smash burger.
Okay.
And that's it. That's as far as meat prep. So minus the spices, it's prepared. It's the same minimal amount of ingredients as the smash burger. So, but it's a little bit bigger. Onions down on the griddle. The burger ball right on top of the onions.
Okay.
And then the tortilla right on top of that, and that's what you use to like make the squish.
Okay. Does it tear the tortilla? Do you use flour or corn?
I used flour, and I used a soft taco. So it's probably more like a burrito, a small burrito. It's the soft taco flour.
Okay.
So we're talking small saucer.
Larger, small size.
Yeah, small. Like not burrito.
No, but a larger taco size.
Yes.
Larger than a standard taco
Larger than a street taco, smaller than a burrito.
Okay. Yeah.
There you go. Squish.
Okay.
I'm just gauging it because it's different that you can't see the juices.
You can't see the meat
through the taco.
Right.
So I let it go an extra bit, or I left some onions on the side, so when I can see those onions are done, I'm like, all right, well we're about there. Flip.
Okay, so it gets grilled on the backside.
And then it like crisps up just a little bit on the underside, inside and I'm sorry to all the non-meatosauruses, but the meat juice then like steams and then crisps up the flour tortilla.
Okay.
Cheese.
Did you get a cheese skirt?
No.
Oh, okay.
Just like a couple of the Rayleigh's sliced cheese.
Okay.
Did I hit my mic?
No.
Oh.
I had an itch.
Oh, okay. I'm like, oh God, is he sending me signals?
Bat signals. Yeah.
And then plate it, run inside.
Okay.
The tomatoes.
Yeah.
Fresh diced tomatoes, fresh lettuce, and dill pickles.
Okay.
And then a squeeze of Chick-fil-A sauce.
Okay.
Fold it
like a taco.
And you need a bib or a really big plate, because what you don't see on the TikToks and the Instagrams and the YouTubes
is the mess coming out of it.
Is the pool of fluid that comes off of this thing. I absolutely loved it, and I thought that given how much, because it's pretty bulky.
Yeah.
There's a lot of meat in there.
Yeah.
I thought I was concerned about the structural integrity of the tortilla.
Well, I think once you get it grilled with some grease and stuff, it's going to hold up. Yeah.
I got all the way through to the end with mine, zero problems. And we're still talking a very simple set of ingredients. I think the Chick-fil-A sauce made it.
Really?
The Chick-fil-A sauce and the dill pickles. I hope if you like that kind of stuff, dill pickles and the Chick-fil-A sauce.
No pickles.
Really?
Yeah, no.
God, it was just the perfect amount, because there's not a lot of seasoning.
Okay.
And the onions. Venus was kind of like, the tortilla turns out to not be my kind of thing. I really liked over a bun. I liked it way more than a bun.
I was going to say, for me personally, it has to be a corn tortilla. But
I wouldn't mind trying it.
But I think that if you had a corn tortilla, a packaged corn tortilla, and you tried to smash it into the burger, you'll probably tear the shit out of the tortilla.
You could use on the second set, I used parchment paper on my squisher.
Okay.
Which I also I bought a stainless steel flatty, because the
spatula.
Or a
presser. Okay.
Because the one the cast iron that I have has like small ridges in it, and I would like to be able to get a little bit flatter.
Yeah.
Flatter press.
So the one that I saw was with the tortilla, you just smash your meat into the tortilla so it's already on, and then you just put it down.
Okay.
So instead of smashing it, I mean, you do still press it.
Yeah.
But you're not using the tortilla to press it all the way, and then that protects the tortilla from like tearing or opening up somehow.
Oh, I could see.
Yeah. But they also did it like it was like a smash burger taco. So instead of like taco ingredients, which is similar to what you did, it had like mayo and mustard on it, but also pickle and tomato and lettuce, just like you had. So everything's the same except what sauce you used.
Yeah.
And if I were going that, for me personally, if I was going to make those, because I haven't done that yet, because I want to, I'm going to at some point, I would make it more Mexican style.
Yeah, you could use
like with sour cream and like hot sauce.
Skip the Chick-fil-A and use like a guac or a taco sauce, and it would be. And I would probably then do street taco size in that.
That could work.
Piper couldn't.
They're robust.
Yeah, Piper couldn't finish hers.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, if you were to like probably size it, it's probably closer to like a burger and a half of like a standard like rainbow sized burger bun, not like the jumbo big guy Sesame's.
Yeah,
there's enough meat in there that it's probably closer to like a burger and change. Like Piper got 4/5 of hers and was like, "I'm done." And I was like,
tapping out.
I was like, I mean, I'm a fan. Like if you, especially, it's so simple.
Yeah.
And the caramelized meat and the onions and the caramelized onions, it just hits the spot.
Yeah.
And so she was like, "I'm done. I can't finish." I'm like, "Fuck it. Yeah, absolutely." Venus worked. That's like today's Wednesday. We did those Monday. Venus worked at her dad's in the evening, so I just made 3, one for me, one for Xander, one for Piper. Venus was out of pocket, and when she came home, I was going to make her one because that's what was for dinner, and I was busy, and she's like, "You were busy, and I had grilled cheese," and I'm like, "Fucking woman, whatever." Hashtag I love my wife. So yesterday, because we bought the like a big ground beef, on sale bundle. I had half the meat left over anyway. Piper was out of pocket. I'm like, well, I know I can fit 3 more in here at least. So I made it again last night. God, it still hit the spot the second night in a row.
Right.
And Venus got to try it at least. Xander likes it, but again, all of us had plates full of
juice.
It's really good. I highly recommend it. Venus also pulled up on TikTok. Like she's still sending me like griddle Blackstone TikTok recipes.
Oh, that's cool.
A chicken parm. In the same manner. So you ground up chicken. So like chicken ground up.
So not a breast.
Meat. Yeah, not a breast.
Okay. I just like saying breast.
Yeah, boobies.
Yeah.
He did like the pressing, like spread it out like a pizza on the tortilla. Grill that face down to temperature.
So it wasn't breaded or anything. Because imagine that. Imagine that.
I don't think it was.
Imagine.
I don't think it was. But no, I don't think it was. Anyway,
but imagine.
Yeah, imagine.
Breadcrumbs and Parmesan cheese grilled into it. Crusty Parmesan cheese on the ground chicken.
Now I'm confused because
anyway, Parmesan
maybe it was
chicken.
just like the crispiness and caramelization of the chicken. And then when you flip it over, you take marinara and Parmesan.
Okay.
And
it's too late already.
Right.
No.
So then you fold that, and it's a
shell and a protein.
Yes, it is a chicken parm
taco. It's a showtine.
A showtine?
Yeah, shell protein. Showtine.
Shelltine. Which is like a saltine, but different. So I'll try that.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could probably use ground turkey. I see that more than I think I see ground chicken, but I don't give a fuck.
Well, the problem in my house is if you're talking like meat protein, it's just me. The girls are in their own worlds. I mean, that's not a problem. I can cook that stuff.
Yeah.
The question is will it hold up and will it work? Question mark? I don't know. Probably. I'll probably make it work.
Yeah.
With like Beyond Meat or something.
I'm sure it would.
I don't know. We haven't tried it. We're gonna at some point.
You should.
I made pizza the other night. Damn, it was fucking so good.
Yeah?
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, it's awesome.
Is it one? It's one pizza at a time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't live in a world where we've hit the lotto where you can cook 4. So
I don't have a professional
right
pizza oven.
Pizza oven.
This is just a grill top pizza oven from
One at a
Cuisinart.
time, folks.
Yeah.
One at a time.
But man, it does a good job, and we're not like making our own dough, which I'm not opposed to. I have done that before, but for expedience, we are purchasing dough from Safeway that comes in a bag. It's pizza dough you can just buy in a bag, and we just use that, and it's pretty good dough. It's like I don't have a problem with it. You know, I know I could make better dough, to be honest with you, but it's pretty good dough for pizza dough.
Yeah,
you know, and that thing does a really good job. I'm really impressed with how well that thing does.
My dad the other day, he was talking about he was doing a couple games, the last set of like tournaments for girls softball, and you know if you live out here in the country, you know a number of at the baseball games, softball games, adult rec league baseball games, you know there's a person that's you know the food shack or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
That's like
selling nachos.
Driven. Rolled up his like barbecue pit or whatever, and he's cooking burgers and selling burgers for like whatever.
So is this like league sanctioned, or is this just a guy that shows up with a grill?
I think well,
because imagine if
I don't
you
think
had
it's
some
league
competition
sanctioned, but
going.
I think like the home field person or the
So is it a fundraiser for the league or teams or something?
It might be.
Okay.
I don't know 100%.
Because
there's always someone there
Yeah.
providing food for the players, and the people in the stands, and the umpires.
Yeah.
But there's always somebody there.
I just remember back when my little brother played baseball at Casa Robles High School. There were several baseball diamonds there, and they had a trailer they just parked in the same place every time. And they had like the nachos and the whole, you know, candies and dipping sticks and the blah, blah, popcorn or what. They had all the stuff, but it was a league fundraiser. I'm not sure where the money went, but someone always had to volunteer to work in there.
You know, I haven't really.
You know,
it's interesting that you mentioned that because when I've gone to a couple of like the football games, there are third-party vendors parked on the track in the end zone that aren't. I mean, maybe they're paying
to be there,
and that's where the school makes money.
Yeah.
It would seem a little wonky to then take a share of sales because that would move so much, but it would make more sense that some of those people are paying. Now, they also have like a school entity like Food Shack, but then they have like the van, like the pedo van that's like selling snow cones and shave ice.
That says Hannah Montana tickets or something on the side.
Yeah, come on inside for free hats and popsicle touching.
Lay here on the mattress.
Yeah. What?
And have your picture taken.
Yeah. Now look to the side. I mean, those are kids. Jesus Christ, we're terrible.
Damn it. I really fucked that one up. There's part of the comic or the karmic shit coming back at
bye,
me.
Tony.
Won't you reach into my pocket and feel my popsicle? That's $4.99. All right.
Oh, zingers.
Maybe they give say. I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
So my dad was like, he was like, you need to come up with a plan for whatever you're making there on like a rinse and repeat. And I went, I make the stuff. The family eats it. I'm like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
And Venus was like, we were talking about like a retirement. Like, what do you want to do when you're retired? And the more I like
nothing.
Yeah. The more I like tinker with the black stone, and my dad's like seemingly like always drawing in my ear, I wouldn't mind pulling up to like when there are events at the high school or there's shit going on over here at the aquatic center, or if my dad's still doing games and I happen to be retired at the time, drive up to some of these places and just set up shop and cook burgers.
Just weenies and burgers.
Yeah. You want something different? shrimp stir fry, you know,
Yeah.
teriyaki chicken bowls
Yeah.
kind of thing. Like, just go and cook for people. I mean, not free. I'm gonna charge that shit because no one's buying the bath water. So, but you know, I would like to do that. That'd be cool. I would do that.
Remind me of a conversation that we should have offline.
Okay.
Okay. That's it.
Offline.
Offline.
But my dad keeps telling me, like, come up with a good recipe. I'm like, fucking Dad. I should make. Well, he always eats before he shows up on Friday.
But do you think he would if he knew? He might come early. If he knew there was some decent food there.
I got to try and see how my Friday looks. Because I may do that. I mean, like, Dad, don't eat. Come here. At least be here by fucking 1, please.
Yeah. I'll make you a smashed taco.
I'll make you a smashed taco.
Yeah.
And then
all you got to do is prep all the tomatoes and lettuce before you and the onions.
And it's super fast.
And get the sauce ready because you can buy the bottles of Chick-fil-A sauce.
Yes, now.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
I bet In-N-Out. Can you buy the In-N-Out stuff? When we go get In-N-Out burgers, we ask for the extra spread in like the little packets. I think my wife is hoarding them somewhere.
It's just Thousand Island.
I know.
It's not anything different.
It would be special if you could I could add $1.25 to my burger if I said it was In-N-Out sauce.
Right. Well, you could because it's just Thousand Island.
And not really buy it and just say it's Thousand. Yeah. Well, then I would be like, anyway.
You would just have to move it into another bottle and then handwrite In-N-Out sauce.
Yes. Or out and in sauce so I wouldn't be sued. Out, in, and then back again. Sauce.
That reminds me of way back in the day, they used to have the In-N-Out bumper stickers, and you could modify it. So the bumper sticker says In-N-Out burger, right underneath.
Yeah.
And people would modify it so it said In-N-Out urge.
Oh.
So you take off the
I think
B
I've
and the
seen
R.
something like that.
And they had, I think, because In-N-Out's a religious company, they're very religious.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
They couldn't have that, so they changed their stickers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So In-N-Out urge was bothersome to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think it's funny. I don't know. What do I know?
So, burgers.
I don't even know how we got there.
Yeah. It's something to do with my dad. So, AC stuff.
AC stuff. Oh, yeah.
So, I'm circling back to this. We talked about it last week. So, if you want, it really stems from the long chat we had towards the tail end about AC maintenance and the issue in your capacitor that you had.
Yeah.
So, you left last week's show. You went home.
Yeah.
I think I then went
that you're aware of.
Yeah, to a hole.
Maybe into your attic. I don't know.
A really dark hole. While I patiently waited for you to do whatever you do with your magic in GarageBand.
Yeah.
I ended up on YouTube like, okay, so the whole capacitor thing, and whee, thanks YouTube,
yeah.
and my algorithm
spun out
is, but that put me in, like, man, the stuff that we talked about maintenance. Oh, this is how the caps go bad. Okay, deep dive. It's like Matrix jacked in kind of shit. I'm like, oh, okay. And then it hit me as a homeowner and someone that pays bills that I have never,
not once,
not a single time. And in that last week's show,
here comes the confession.
Here comes the confession. In that show, I said, you should change your filters because this is a maintenance that's like low key and easy to do, and you should do that because it's just common sense.
Right.
I have never
changed your filter,
cleaned the condenser fins,
the coils.
Yeah. The radiator, what looks like a radiator.
Yeah.
I have never done that.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
And when I watched enough of the videos and it was like, heat cycling, the amount of times and heat and the harder the cap has to work in order to spin up the compressor itself, the condenser, it all spins out from proper maintenance, gets you more efficiency and longevity. And one of those things, along with changing your filters on a regular basis, is the maintenance and cleanliness
of your coils.
Of the coils on the outside. So that was Wednesday. I was like, murmur.
I have never done this before.
I've never done this. Friday,
15 years
I
old.
think Saturday, yes. 15, 16 years old. And here's the thing. That unit is oversized for our house because when we did our renovation, the gentleman who quoted us oversized us because he was doing a course correction from how the homes in the area were built.
Right.
As far as cost efficiency, they're undersized, but yet at maximum efficiency and maximum power, they check the box of the home builder saying it can do it can cool this square footage.
It saves them money in the building.
So undersized. So when we added square footage and we had the gentleman come out and he said, here's how we're doing this. We oversize with the intention of, as the unit over time decreases its efficiency, you won't feel that you need to repurchase a whole new unit that will get you back to square one. We will bake in an oversizing that when it starts to decrease in performance, you're going to still get 20-something years out of the juice. Fine, fantastic. At some point, maybe what would be probably 5 years or so ago, the blower, like squirrel cage in the blower itself,
in the attic,
did run out of its bearing, and it started rattling. So I have had to replace that, but that's a thing that's here in the garage. Ours is in the garage, not in the attic. But I have never touched the outside unit since it had been put in place. So Saturday, feeling guilty as fuck, but yet also realizing the efficiencies and the fear of God that your repair and, losing the unit in regardless of how easy it may be to replace a cap from your getting fucked.
Just a week of getting fucked.
Yeah, I don't want to be in that
position.
Who
doesn't want to get fucked for a week?
I am back here on Saturday. I pulled out everything. The PVC framed thing that was shading the Raptor. I pulled the PVC thing, pulled the tarp, pulled all of it out there, cleaned it out. And so then I'm looking at I finally get an opportunity to look at the
Did
unit.
It go like this?
Yeah, it went, well, who are you? And why are you here? And I'm just so old.
And dirty.
And I'm filthy. Like Pigpen.
I smell like Hulk Hogan after a good ring match.
Yeah, soap, water, vinegar. I'm spraying it down, and I'm looking at the fins, and I'm just like, this is so unfortunate.
So was it dirty?
Oh, it was dirty as fuck, dude.
Just dirt coming out like crazy.
You can tell where the current was pulling and had soiled itself.
Okay.
The fastest.
All right.
So 4 sides.
Yeah.
The one side, not so bad, like maybe 15-20%, pretty dirty. I'm like, that's not too bad. The other 3 sides, at least 2 sides, 50%. Like, whoa.
So you couldn't see through the fins?
At least on like the top half of 2 sides, it was visibly.
Did you pull the fan off the top?
I did not.
Okay.
While I do have 2 rows I could see pretty clearly that the inside didn't warrant, in knowing what I had to get accomplished in the heat and the time of the day, and then I had to work Sunday.
Yeah.
I didn't pull the top off because I eyeballed the inside. I'm like, well, next weekend I can take the top off and I'll do the inside as well, or I can save that to when it's not quite so fucky hot. It was dirty. It was, as a home, again, it's on me. Like, if someone's going to do that, it would be me. But, you know, I told my wife, so she's free to do it too. But I can't unsee it. It was dirty, and it needed to be cleaned. It took me 20 to 30 minutes to, once I was able to get access to it. Soap, water, vinegar, spray it down with a hose. Don't give it full business because you don't want to bend any fins. Didn't bend any fins. But once I kept rinsing it and I saw clean water dropping out of the bottom, I felt confident that I had done a sufficient job.
Right.
Fused back in, went inside, turned it on, and it was noticeably quieter.
Yes.
Noticeably.
Yeah.
Like, I am not, this isn't like a wives' tale, like, you know, it just feels like it. It was noticeably quieter. What did it reduce? I didn't do enough, like, before and after things to tell you if it could cool faster at the same time of a day with the temperature at the same time. I didn't do that. But if audibly there is a hint that it's more efficient now, I am 100% on board with that being a thing.
Right.
Like, it was Piper's room is right there. And when I cranked it down to get it to kick on, you can hear the initial
The startup, yeah.
but the ambient humming was
Is it on?
you couldn't necessarily tell that it was on, but you could hear the turbulence of the fan,
Yeah.
which is slightly like a different thing. Like, I can
instead of
hear
mechanical
I
sounds,
could
you're
hear the
hearing-
hum of the condenser doing the compressor doing its thing versus the spin and air turbulence of the fan blowing. And now I could just hear the fan creating turbulence as opposed to the of the condenser doing its thing.
Well, plus the thing is it will use far less power.
Right. And that
Because
was
it's
one,
more
that was
efficient.
one of the things I
Yeah.
had seen was the guy doing I don't name of the tool, but the noticeable amp draw of an
Amp clamp.
Yes, a clean unit. It is a tangible, visible, measurable thing.
Yeah.
It drew less power to turn on and pump cold air through the system when it was clean versus when it was dirty. There was a before and an after. That right there sold me. If I'm drawing less power because I took 20 to 30 minutes out of my day with soap and water that I would use to wash something else, no brainer. You may say, oh, well, that's, $10, $15. That's $10, $15. That's 5 lotto tickets. And it was low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Low-hanging fruit. It was cheaper to perform that maintenance than it was to go buy 2 air filters.
Or a new unit.
Right. And while I have totally boned myself on 15 years of not doing it, I will hopefully lengthen the life of my capacitor by keeping up on this part of the maintenance that I had not been paying attention to.
There's a other thing I ran into, which was a soft start unit. Have you read about these?
I did see a video on it, but I didn't deep dive.
I don't even know I don't know what they do, but you wire them into the compressor unit, and basically there's a amount of amperage draw that the unit needs in order for it to start on.
Right.
Start up. Start And that initial hit is like a surge hit of like up to 75 amps, right?
Okay.
That's what it takes to get the compressor up and running.
Right. The role of the capacitor.
Yeah,
is to
and
help
so
with that.
what this little device does is it buffers it
Okay.
so that it's a soft start, and instead of like a surge of 75 amps to get it going, it like soft starts it to like 24 or something like that, which is its operating.
Okay.
So it like it doesn't ever let it get up to the surge point, and it makes it more efficient over time.
Huh.
Which is very interesting, I think. But I'm like, I don't know. I think the Mister thing, that's we were talking about this yesterday.
Yes.
There is a device which
we touched on it
we did
at the tail end. And then we probably both went.
Mm-hmm. Well, it just showed up in my YouTube feed, which I think is bizarre because I never searched for it.
I may have searched for it while on the Sad Dad's YouTube. Because
that wouldn't mean it would show up in mine.
Oh, if you were in your ID, your UID, no.
Yeah, in my it just showed up in my.
Yeah, if you were on the Sad Dad's one, that was me.
And it's this device called the what was it?
Cool and Save.
Cool and Save, and it's $100. And it's essentially just a mechanical flap that you stick to the top of the compressor right in the middle of the fan. And when the compressor fan kicks on, this flap tips up. It's activated by the push of the air from the fan. And you have water connected to this flap, and then that flap is also connected to misters that are connected to the outside of your compressor unit. And so when the flap turns up, it turns the misters on, and it mists the outside of your compressor unit with water, and then you have evaporative cooling from the water hitting the fins, and the fins stay cooler because they've got water on them, and they have the evaporative cooling effect.
Yes.
And that was impressive too. A video that I watched, he put an amp clamp on the draw of the unit while it was running, and it was taking like 4.6 or 7 amps, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he tested it with the cooling system in place and on, and it was drawing like 3.6. So that's like a quarter of the power because the compressor is being far more efficient. It's cooling better, and that means it doesn't have to work nearly as hard, and so you're using less draw because the compressor doesn't have to work as hard, which I think is totally fascinating.
Right.
And that's like a 25-30% of your power reduced just by having these misters. But then you and I kind of went on this deep dive of, in my opinion, like I'm fairly conservative when it comes to stuff like water and power. So
in any other year besides this one, we're being always water conscious.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yes.
But the key in this scenario is that the misters are not just sitting there running all the time. Right?
Right.
You don't want to waste water when the compressor's not running or when the AC is not actually working, even though it will do some good because it'll cool that thing off and be ready for when it turns on. But really, it's most effective when the unit's on and pulling that misty air into the compressor.
Right.
So you don't really need the misters on when the thing's not running. Plus, I just feel like that's wasting water.
Sure.
So the ideal situation is for the misters to kick on when the compressor turns on.
Right.
Whether that's with the fan actuated thing, the $100 Cool and Save, or what I saw was that dude he wired up a valve, like a sprinkler valve. His contraption was messy. The idea though, that the sprinkler valve could do exactly what you want, which is actuated electronically by the AC unit itself.
Yes.
That's ideal. I think that's the ideal situation. But his sort of implementation of it was kind of messy. I didn't really like the way that he did it.
Yeah.
And then if I was going to do what he did, I would definitely not do it that way. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I would use a real misting kit. I wouldn't use the Toro yard misting kit.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? He had like just he didn't fully think it through. He spent way too much money. I feel like if you're going to spend $87 on all the bits and then have to build it yourself. Just spend the $100 and just use the flapper shit.
So I went to, I asked Mike because I couldn't let go of the flapper, and so to try and put this in perspective, the function of the flapper is like a reverse toilet bowl float.
Right.
So when your toilet bowl water fills up to a point, it presses up a float that shuts off the water. This paddle on the top of your unit is effectively a valve that when it reaches when it raises enough from the wind generated, it opens a valve that lets the water through to the mister.
Right.
So I'm asking Mike because it seemed like that kind of valve thing would be like an aquarium thing. Like, tell me, because the raising of tanks in various tanks and salinity
or like bubble things.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to aquarium shit, like Mike's right. So I'm like, what is this valve inside the little fucking ball? Like, can I find that? And then it was like, oh, well, clear. It's just like a reverse toilet. But
right.
Mike said, automate it. It like almost to the point of like attaching like where the guy did the sprinkler servo to the thermostat of the unit.
Mm-hmm.
If you had, and here's where, if you had a smart water faucet, while my Orbitz things are Bluetooth, they aren't tied into HomeKit.
Wi-Fi, yeah.
But Orbitz does make the beehives that are Wi-Fi faucets that are Wi-Fi and HomeKit capable. And if you had a thermostat
that is HomeKit capable,
that was HomeKit capable,
that you could kick on the misters with.
You could, yes,
just without any wiring.
Without any wiring.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So, but
I mean, I have that.
Do you?
We have a Ecobee.
I don't fucking have one, and the Google Nest I have is so old that it doesn't support HomeKit. And so here's my gift to you, sir. If you had the Orbitz faucet, faucet controller, that's Wi-Fi, not Bluetooth, and your Ecobee, you could create a home automation circle.
So when
your misters that you already have.
When the AC kicks on, turn on this water spigot and then get mist. And then when it turns off, turn the spigot off.
Yes.
And then it's no wiring.
That's it. There's no wiring. Oh. You're not jacking into the condenser. You're not buying.
I failed to see that because you sent that link and I went, I don't know if that's what I want to do.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. HomeKit.
So if you're an Apple person, this is it's close. And some of the Matter products, probably, if you're an Android or Google Home solution person, you're probably potentially closer than I am. I'm out. No matter what, I would be out the $60 to $80 for the Beehive faucet Wi-Fi.
Yeah. And
a new thermostat at $200, $300. So testing that for science for me is out of pocket at least this year.
Yeah.
But that's 100% where I would go. Because one, I already have the Mister stuff, so I would strategically have mine. I'm also like cleaning the unit. I am also 100% sold on this being an opportunity for some efficiency, and to rope it all into home automation is like 100% like the way.
Let's do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Does the cool and save paddle thing work? Absolutely.
Well,
but if you're
there's a catch there, I think, because I was talking to Shanna about it. She started like kind of deep diving on that thing, and people are saying that thing only lasts about a season or one or like a year-ish.
Right.
That flap starts to break, and then you got to replace it.
Because if you're a homeowner like we are, and if you're like me, who's had any number of vehicles or leisure things or temporary sheds in your backyard, and you've tarps. The sun destroys everything.
Yeah.
And if you have something that's mechanical, that if you're a Northern California resident in our late springs and summers and what's now egressing into fall. Your AC unit is going to be up and down. That mechanical usage in our area it's going to break.
Well, plus the fact that it just sticks to the top of the compressor with like a 3M tape thing.
Yeah, your adhesive's going to break.
Yeah.
The seasonal weather is going to absolutely destroy it.
Right.
The mechanical parts are going to break. The UV is going to destroy the plastic. But if you remove mechanical and replace it with automation, like this already, and you don't have to splice anything and get into fucking your unit.
I mean, I'm not worried about that too much, but
well, I don't want that. But I love that idea.
Yeah.
If you're, congratulations,
congratulations.
Let me know how this works out.
All right, I'll have to start looking.
Do you have a smart faucet?
No, I'd have to buy one. But see, that there's going to be a cost to get into it.
Right.
I'll have to buy a different Mister kit because I can't use the same one because it doesn't have enough parts that I would need.
Oh.
I would need like the part that goes to the valve. You know.
You just need a hose attachment.
Well, whatever.
You don't have that. Oh, yeah, fine.
I mean, I have hose and I have some of the bunch of the misters.
I have tons of hose,
but I don't have the part that will go on to the faucet.
Oh, okay.
So there's like I would have to plan that part of it out for sure.
Mm-hmm,
but man, that's yeah.
See?
Yeah. No, I see it now.
No,
I didn't see that yesterday.
Yes. I was tunnel visioned on replicating the paddle.
Right.
And Mike went, well, just get a smart faucet and a smart thing. Like, I would wrap it all. And he said something about Android and home or something. But
it's funny because I've thought of those before, and I'm like, I don't have a use for that. You know, one of the smart faucets. I'm like, yeah, those are cool, but I don't have a use for it.
Right.
Now I would have a use
and
for it.
I was trying, like we had talked about, like I have the Bluetooth ones. I'm like, well, in the meantime, I can, since I work from home and it's so hot, like when I know relative within 30 minutes to an hour lately, when my AC unit is kicking on, like I could probably shoot a temporary schedule of turn misters on at 4:30 to 5:45 and maybe only waste 15 minutes of water on the front or back end. And since I have a pretty substantial leftover amount of misting stuff, I wouldn't have to buy misting stuff, and I would just have to repurpose temporarily one of my Bluetooth things and just point it over there instead of misting the back of the house. And I would just have to manually do a schedule and repurpose it. Like I could do that. Like, oh, it's close enough, sure. Yeah. But automation, like, nerd.
But I think for sure also you need a filter. Like you got to make sure that you're not pHing the shit out of your equipment. Like the aluminum wouldn't be happy with a lot of that.
No.
So
yes, filter, and automation.
Filter, mist, and a valve.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. So make it happen.
I'm gonna start researching again.
Let me know how that goes.
All right. Then I'll do a YouTube and I'll make a bunch of money.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
Hi.
This is how I did it.
Are you trying to buy a coolant save?
Did you try and shock the shit out of yourself by wiring this into your AC unit?
Huh? Do you only have 9 fingers?
Yeah.
Because you dumb?
And a mullet?
Yeah.
Then don't do it.
Because you dumb? Don't. Get on the nerd train and use home automation. And if you have a Google Android, then you're fucked.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to do that.
It's the HomeKit only, baby.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're
over time.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
Okay,
we've done worse.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right.
On that note, you should return the cart.
Yeah, wash your hands.
Wash your ass.
I don't even know, man.
Shots. Oil.
Make the call. Check your oil, Tony.
Pick up a broom.
Return the cart.
Do the kindness.
And we'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.